WEFM, the new fresh sound. Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The time is 7:20 here in St. Vincent and the Eastern Caribbean. You're listening to Ari, and I am Activated Mornings this morning. Christal will be joining me shortly, but until then, just want to say good morning to those on the way to work, school, just starting their day. Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The first thing I know everyone noticed, the same thing I noticed when I got up, and I got up at 5 this morning, is that it is raining. It is finally raining, and I don't like to take credit for such things, but I'd like to believe I had a huge part in making it rain here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines while we're amidst this drought. I would like to believe it was my singing and my dancing that caused, well, most of the rain that we're seeing today, and we're grateful for the rain. But besides the rain, I have to show love to Michael Charles. So according to the Searchlight newspaper, Charles is one of the top ranked one of the top ranked legal chambers in England and Wales and across the world. Charles officially joined the 5 Pump Court Chambers in Temple, London on April 7th, 2024. Landing a position in English chambers is considered a tremendous achievement, as securing an apprenticeship position is a highly competitive process, with candidates often applying multiple times before being successful. Charles' success is particularly noteworthy as he is the only West Indian to have secured pupillage in 2022 and gone on to obtain tenancy. So I just want to take this time to give Mikhail a shout out this morning. So congrats to you, Mikhail. All right, and that is from us here at Activated Mornings this morning. In other news, however, the MP for South Leeward, Nigel Nature Stevenson, has suggested that the government cover the drains along a narrow stretch of the main road in Lower Questelles. Now, if you are from Lower Questelles, you know exactly where he is talking about. When you go up the hill past the brewery and you're coming down the hill, there's a shop in the corner right there that has been giving pedestrians problems, motorists problems. You cannot see around the corner. It's quite dangerous. I myself had issues with that corner in the past, and something really needs to be done. But good morning, Christal.
Good morning, Ari. Good morning to the listeners. Sincerest apologies. You know, there's sometimes rain. I hear talking about rain. We did the rain dance. Yeah, a lot of people. I think too many people did the rain dance.
I would like to think that I am solely responsible.
You won. You should be dancing all year. Why you didn't dance since January?
You see, I was recovering from an injury.
Yeah, sure. Sure. I'm sure that was the reason, but
what's a better blessing on a Friday than rain? You know, some people going to sleep 8 o'clock because they have no water. They're depressed. They want to shower early and go to bed early. And now we're blessed with rain, and I hope that there's more rain to come. It makes me wonder if H2O Soca and cheaper water knew something we didn't know.
Well, they spoke to the weatherman. These WetFest. So the water tunes ain't come out yet?
I have not heard any, but I've been hearing a lot of nice soca songs over the past 2 days. And good morning to Anne and Joshua as well, always locked in.
Good morning. But big up to Mikhail Charles. Kudos to you, man. I mean, it always happens though. I think every year, as soon as we're heading out of the dry season, we get like a lot of rain, and it is troubling because the surface was very dry, or is very dry and dusty. So we have to look out for them landslides, because the water is not like penetrating, it's just running off and just a lot of muck in the gutters and so on. So it's time to readjust ourselves. Just because there's a lot of rain doesn't mean the water problem is going to be fixed immediately. It might take like a day or two. There's
Yeah,
plenty rain. There's
maybe
mucky
3,
water.
maybe 4. Who knows?
I don't know. They sell like maybe in a day or two. I think that's what they sell in their press conference.
That's the thing, right? I was hoping that they would give an exact time because I don't remember if it was myself or if it was Kenton who had asked how long would it take for everything to refill and things to go back to normal. And they said not a long amount of time.
I'm
But
sure he
they
said in
he
that
said a
same
day.
space about a day.
Wow, because I was looking for actual time and I didn't hear it. But
Because they have to do the treatment and what's not. Yeah, because the excessive rain, because when it rains too heavily, you want that sweet spot in the middle. If it rains too heavily, it brings a bit of muck. So you have to like work out all of that. But water security, we talk about food security, but water, can't live without water, man.
that is very, very true. So as I was saying, Nigel Nature Stevenson had brought up that piece of road problem there in Lower Questelles. However, the Prime Minister said that addressing the issue is not that simple and would involve acquiring properties. So also, if you're familiar with it, the road there kind of between two walls in a sense, or one wall and someone else's property. So I'm guessing that means you'll have to acquire the property, knock down the wall and widen the road to cover the gutters. But it is a very, 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 very annoying piece of road to be walking past, to be driving past. It is very problematic. So
Oh, dear.
I guess we'll see what comes out of that, at least. So in Parliament on Thursday, Stevenson told the Minister of Transport Works, Lands and Physical Planning, Montgomery Daniel, that the main road in Lower Questelles between WEFM Junction and Questelles Bay Gap is very narrow and usually causes vehicular traffic to back up, creating great inconvenience to motorists and pedestrians. And that's the other thing. It's kind of like a one-way. If you don't stop at the WEFM Junction, the gap for WEFM, if you don't stay there, then the traffic coming up would not be able to pass. So you have to find spots along the side to pull off so that the traffic will flow freely. And if it is that it is in height of working hours or school hours, then it's very annoying. It has caused me to be late here, and I come in for 5:50.
Oh boy. And you could pull up by a shop. There's a shop right down there.
Yeah, there's a
Some
shop
people
there.
pull
There's
up by the shop.
a slab of land. Also, where people park their vehicles sometimes. Usually it's free. You could pull off there, but it's still annoying.
Inconvenient.
Very, very
Let's see
inconvenient.
if they could come up with some solution. Big up to Stevenson for identifying that.
But Montgomery Daniel told Parliament that the road has been identified for possible inclusion under a proposed Phase 2 program of the National Road Rehabilitation Project. In the interim, the NRRP would carry out surveys and assessments to determine the way forward. He said the scope of the works include, but is not limited to, the rehabilitation of the 500 meters of roadway between WEFM and the junctions near Mulzak's residence. That's probably the shop. I don't know. But the works also include an upgrade to the 300 meters of access road to the Questelles Beach. Daniel said, adding that Braxtor, a state agency, had overlaid a section of the access road to Questelles Beach, and I've actually seen that. They did that in like a week. I actually saw, because going on to Questelles Beach was horrible, but they did do the work and they did repave that area. So I guess we have work coming there.
Listen, if it is y'all gonna fix the roads and you ain't gonna do it properly, it's better just leave it. Glen Road done start to mash up the same places y'all fix it.
Glen Road, they fix? Where? Which side?
They patched a couple holes.
Well, I feel like they're doing a lot of patchwork. But remember, we spoke about that. Like, it kind of feels like a waste of money just doing the patchwork, and then there's the same problems going to happen over and over and over again.
If you do the patch, can the patches be done properly so that they could actually last some time? It's just a couple months and the road will start to mash up. So if you're going to go do it at all, no nonsense.
Well, I wanted to bring up briefly. Yesterday, I was looking at the Flows launch for the cricket and carnival season, and a part of that, Luke Boy had announced that H2O is coming, and with assistance with Flow has a technology coming where your wristband can contain your ticket and money, so it can be a cashless event. I'm wondering if other events will obtain or use this type of technology going forward, and it feels like it would be convenient.
They don't want to have to deal with wet money.
But
That is it. They don't want to have to deal with wet money.
well, color fets, wet fets, all these type of fets that not as clean. I think it'll be easier. Persons won't be losing money. You won't have to be struggling to give people change. I think it will be very convenient for everybody involved.
Minimal to no theft.
Minimal to no theft, unless someone steal your ban. Then they walk at you taking your money.
But I mean, okay, so these folks have obviously, before they got to announcing things, they've obviously sat down and said, okay, this is what we could do with technology, blah, 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 blah. I think by now they've sorted themselves out. So some of the concerns we have may not even be a concern to them because they've already fixed
Quite
it.
Possibly.
Or put things in put things in place. But that'll be really interesting if that is the direction. Hey, by all means. The trouble with it might be is if banks are closed and you can't deposit and the account that's attached to your card doesn't have the funds, because some people just only use commercial banks for their debit cards.
It kind of okay, because they didn't go into details about the how they would be doing it. But for instance, if they apply the same technology that's used in Taiwan, with my student card, my student ID, I can go to a corner store and put money on it, serves as a debit card. So there is no bank transaction involved. The money goes directly onto the device, and then you use it to pay for your buses. And
almost like Dcash.
I don't know how Dcash works.
I think that's how Dcash works. Is it?
I don't know how Dcash works.
It's like topping up something.
Yes.
And then you just use that something.
Yes. So maybe it might be something like that. If it's like that, then it's very convenient. The only how it won't be convenient is if you go into the party and you put $100 on it and you end up spending $50 and now you just have the other $50 there lingering.
Well, they would have to sort that out, but let's see where it goes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Like at an additional cost.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. So I'm looking forward to see how it works. I believe it will be successful.
Now I study in the target audience, obviously the younger demographic. That'll be an easier sell. And the road cleaners, they would have had to use debit cards to withdraw their funds as a means of transitioning, the digital transformation part of that. I'm wondering if this would encounter the same or similar challenges of reluctance. And are they going to have a bit of accommodation for those who don't want to do it?
From what I gathered from what he was saying in his interview, it sounds like they will be using both systems.
So it's like a transitionary period.
Yeah, they're pushing persons to get involved in the new one, but I feel like both will exist. You'll still have persons using money, but
put your hands in the air if you have money. Literally, it's on my hand. Hey.
So we're gonna take a quick commercial break and we'll be back with your traffic talk this morning.
General Hardware still has